前はキューベ
I want to start this review off with a question. What makes a great anime for you? Is it over-the-top action sequences, or maybe perfect complementary music to back up intense, emotional scenes? For me, it's uncertainty, not knowing what is around the corner, and ultimately being thrown into a world and having your perspective constantly changed, not even episode by episode, most of the time within a few minutes. So today I present to you a review of a certain series which I believe achieves this better than any other. Puella Magi, Madoka Magica. Let's get started. I can imagine that a large number of you are looking at the screen and thinking, 10, okay, I'm smelling bullshit. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I have been drastically off with my scores in the past, but this one I'm pretty sure I've nailed. Some will disagree, but hey, you can close this video now, or wait around to see why the series receives such a high score in this department. In all forms of entertainment, it's very hard to achieve the effect. I'll explain what I mean in about 30 seconds. Even in massive Hollywood action movies, we are pretty much spoon-fed. We are expected to be handed everything on a plate. Madoka doesn't do this. The best way I can describe it is like a puzzle. Not too hard that you just get frustrated and overwhelmed by the thing. It's also not too easy that by the end you leave with a sense of, well, fuck me, that was fun. Experiences may vary. The progression of both the story and the world is something. The first episode is basically there to compare the massive variation from Madoka's pretty much perfect middle school life to what the show evolves into by the end. Many people dismiss the anime straight from the start because of, well, the start, but hopefully now you understand why it is important. If you still think it's a waste of time, have you seen The Endless 8? Yeah, sit down, haters. This actually leads me on to the last thing I'd like to add. Madoka doesn't mess about. Being a 13-episode series, that's exactly what you'd expect. It's 6 hours of mind-fucking gold, an experience which I recommend to anyone watching this video. Even if you do come out at the end thinking that it is crap, you'll never know unless you try. Likewise to the story and setting, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, isn't this like his favourite anime and the characters are only getting a low 8? No, that's not an editing mistake. Actually, it would be lower if it weren't for two specific characters. The first being Kyubey and the second being Homura Akemi. See, the trouble is that Madoka just cries most of the time. That does tend to be what middle schoolers do, but bear with me. Madoka is an okay character, but she's an okay character in the sense that she is nothing amazing. As the face of the show, though, I do understand she is necessary because of the whole thing that goes on, which I can't actually tell you because, well, it would basically stop the effect I mentioned earlier. I don't have much more to say about Madoka, but I do want to talk about my two standout characters. Let's start with Homura, just because me talking about how fucking amazing Kyubey is going to be the climax of this whole review. You can sum up Homura fairly simply. The girl that no one likes at the beginning. But hey, something happens in the end that makes you think, did I really hate her that much back then? It's a great example of just how comparable this show is to a roller coaster. And no, we're not talking Disney teacup ride, we're talking Space Mountain shit here. The funny thing is, it's like that in every category, except maybe animation, which stays pretty much constant the whole way through. We're getting to that bit, but first, Kyubey. Well, what can I say? This thing will trick you and trick you over and over again. He's the masterpiece of this series in my opinion. Look at this guy, what do you associate him as? Cute, fluffy, warm? Well, you couldn't be any more wrong. He is the forefront of why I keep saying over and over again that these series is worth investing your time into. Taking stuff at face value is something which is generally a bad decision in life in general. It's not different with Madoka. I'm a fan of animation which is different. Heck, I think most people are. Madoka is different. Magical, yeah, I guess, but not magical as in like Disney princess magical. The animation is very clever. It allows the show to be both, I guess, cute, would be a good way to put it, but it also allows it to be dark and almost sarcastic at times, specifically the witch mazes, which seriously was some great animation. So was the animation good? That is a personal question, but yes, in my opinion, the animation is amazing, and the fact that it stands out from modern animation really helped me assign the animation with such a high score. The fact that it is capable of contrasting such a wide range of feelings, the whole nature of the two-sidedness I just mentioned. You can say Clannad Angel Beats, hell, even Fairy Tail's got great animation, but I would still rate Madoka higher, because it goes a lot further than just having great animation. It uses a medium to create an effect, and that is something which I really feel is overlooked by the majority of modern animation work nowadays. The soundtrack on Madoka is one of my absolute favourites. Not to listen to by itself, that would just be strange. If you've heard the soundtrack, you'll know what I mean, but it complements the feelings that the animation, the story and setting, and to an extent the characters present. If you're a fan of chemistry, I'm not really, but it's a good way of summing up the soundtrack. Think of the music as the catalyst for the anime. It intensifies the effects that all the other elements bring together. I'm not saying that individually they are better than half the other soundtracks in the world, but brought together and used in this particular way is really a win. That, my friends, draws an end to this review. Using a very simple process, the scores that I have given in this review leave me awarding Madoka Magica with a mean score of. If there is one thing that I want anyone that hasn't seen Madoka to take away from this, it's never to judge a book by its cover, because otherwise you'll miss some of the best series. This is specifically relevant in anime. I'm not saying that everyone is going to love the show, because hey, this is just my opinion. As always, this has been the Anime Planet. Have a great night or day.